Hi guys, it's me again, Charles Norman from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS. It is a software technology that allows you, if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, it'll allow you to put in your academic information, the sports you play, the level you can participate at the collegiate level, and the area of the country you might be interested in, and let you start doing some research. It's always no cost to you guys if you have a code, and the code I give you guys is down below, and I also give you instructions. And I've started recently adding, there's a little link to a YouTube video that will explain to you what AthleticSOS is, so I don't have to do it every time on this on these morning talks that we have. So this one's really interesting to me. I'm kind of moving in a different direction for you guys. So one of the things that happened, I've talked to, in the last 2 weeks, I've talked to a volleyball team, I've talked to basketball, softball, and gymnastics, which is new for me. We're just growing. It's amazing, and it's a bunch of different things we're doing. I'm starting to realize now where people find us from, and it's more referrals than anything else. And we are growing like crazy right now. I'm getting offers to go speak to people, which is just crazy to me. But I'm trying to figure out how to put all this stuff together. What's interesting to me is how in tune young people are. These people are so much more advanced than we were. One of the big things that's been coming up now is we're heading into spring, and for the basketball and even the volleyball players, they're starting to go for tryouts for travel and club program. And so the big question is now, how do we choose that travel and club program? And so one of the things I'm always talking about with these kids is everybody's doing the same thing. Everyone that is skillful enough to get a college scholarship, an athletic scholarship for college, is doing the same things, right? They're practicing hard. They're playing, varsity at their high schools, or they're training, and they're getting good grades, and they're taking the right classes, and they're doing all the stuff we talk about in AthleticSOS. But what's really interesting is the people that get selected, it's nuanced. No one can quite put the finger in why did this kid get it and this kid didn't. And so with the nuance in it, what is the one thing that I always see that seems to be the same for the kids that get the scholarships, or even when you watch college sports, and the kids, when I go and watch the high school sports now, and I'm watching them for when they're trying out for travel, and there's some camps that we've been going to through the years, and there's one thing I can see that makes a kid feel different when they're playing, when they're participating in a competitive environment. It's a persistent awareness. It's on the court, you can see it, they kind of know what's going on. One of the other things I talked to you guys about is that I'm kind of moving in a different direction as I want to take this as we move forward. I want to get a little bit deeper into not just success for sports, but success in life. That's what we're trying to do with these kids. We're trying to get them to think for themselves. And so there's a group that I've been working with. Wow, we've been working together about 4 years now. Before the pandemic happened, I met these people. They're doing a lot of cool things, and I'm going to talk about all of that next week. But one piece of this is working with them is I have it now. I have this persistent awareness, and the world is just amazing to me, right? I see things I haven't seen before. In life and in business, and business has taken off in the last couple of years. And then what's interesting about all this, and I promise you I'm bringing this back to sports and youth in a minute. What's interesting is they're the ones that let me know about artificial intelligence and what's coming and how quickly it's coming. And now you guys have probably heard about ChatGPT and Midjourney and all of these AI things that are just exploded onto the scene in the last few months. I saw these things last November, last December, and I said, oh my goodness, this is going to change everything for everyone. But I also, when we were talking about it, I said, this is not going to be able to change sports, especially youth sports, because the difference between sports and all these other things that everyone is doing is that the moment someone's participating in the court, you don't know. All the numbers show that this team should be winning, or this person should be dominating this person. But once you guys come onto the field of play in a competitive environment, there's something that can happen in that other underdog sort of player that this player can't do anything about. It starts to happen. And that is what I think changes sports from everything else. That's why I think it's still going to be the most popular thing going on moving forward. Now, having said all that, what does this have to do with someone trying to figure out which travel club program to go to? Here's why it makes a big difference. Because if you're persistently aware, you should be thinking in these terms. That club program, that club team, who do they feed? And if you're in junior high and you're thinking about what high school do they feed into? And if you're at the high school age, what kind of colleges do they send their kids to? What number of kids do they send? Do they send them to D1, D2, D3, NAIA, all of the above? Do they charge you to do it? because one of the things we're doing with our software is you should know every single college that you academically qualify to attend, have your sport at the level you can participate. So if you have that, why are you paying somebody $800 to $2,500 to $3,000 to $3,500? Why are you guys paying that much money when you can go to someone else and say, hey, listen, I know the schools that I want to go to. You can talk to your high school coach now, and they can help you out because you've already narrowed everything down. And the reason you're going to those schools are for reasons that fit you perfectly. And so that's what you should be looking for. You should be reaching out to those schools, and no matter what club program you go to, as long as they're playing against other college level athletes, you should be able to have that college coach come and see you compete against them. Yeah, maybe you don't win the tournament every single time, but that's okay. So those are the kind of things you want to look at. And then if you're a senior right now, going into your senior year, if you're a junior going into, you're going to be a senior in the fall coming up in 2023. I'm doing this video, but it doesn't matter what the year is. If you're going to be a senior this coming year, you don't have time to be on the second or third best team on that travel club program. You just don't have it. So if they're telling you it's okay, you're still going to get looked at and all that, we're the biggest club and all that, no thank you. You got sometimes you're caught and you don't know what to do next. You've been with this club since you're in the 5th grade and now you're in the senior. Are you going to leave? And that's one of the things that I don't have anything against club programs, but they sort of bring you into this family type environment, and you can't let yourself loose from it, right? Because you're going to be ostracized. You're especially if you have, my daughter is the one that got me into this. Girls are very, very cliquish and they don't want to be set apart. They have this really bad. Boys, not so much, but they have it too. But it's really, a lot of times it's the parent that's gotten connected with all the other parents. That's sort of their social network, and it's hard for them to release. But do you want your kid to have the best opportunity? Then you need to find some place where they're on the top team. They're going to play against that club team that you were talking about, and maybe that is the opportunity for your kid to get seen and noticed, and that they're holding their own and they're leading their team, which is not as good as the other team maybe, but they're holding their own, and that makes a huge difference. And so these are those nuances that we're talking about. But when I talk about persistent awareness, when you're on the court, when you're playing, when you're on the field, whatever sport you're playing, I don't care what it is, that sense of understanding what's going on constantly, that you're looking around. And it could be something as simple as, I've got kids now that we've been working with for a couple of years. They watch game film on their own. They'll watch their opponents. They'll watch what they did last year. Everything's on the internet now. You can almost watch anything that's going on. They watch every single thing that's going on. When they're doing their practices, we've got the kids now that are going out, and instead of just finding a trainer, they're finding a trainer for what they're going to do next. Where they want to go out for a different position on the basketball team. Let's just say your height for the varsity for your school, you're not going to make it. You're not tall enough for the position you're playing right now. You need to go learn that position for the size you are, so that coach can bring you on and so you can play, but they don't see you in that position. So you got to go train on it on your own. They're not going to help you do that. You're going to have to do it for yourself. So you got to get better at that next position. And the same thing if you're going from high school to college. Just because you play a high school position, you can go and look. That's why the software is so great. You can go and look at the rosters. What size are those kids at the level you think you want to participate? Then you need to go get those kind of skill sets. And you got to go do that on your own, because your high school coach may not do that. Your travel club program may not let you do that. So you got to think in those ways. Where do I want to be? And you got to get there. That is awareness, okay? So get that inside of your head. You want to make sure that you're seeing these things and everyone else is not seeing them. And this is going to lead us to the rest of our lives. We're going to be doing this forever. And I want you guys to get that. So, having said all that, those are some of the things I wanted you guys to think about as athletes, but as human beings. And this is for the parents, and this is for coaches, and this is for the students too. This is for all of you guys. That awareness, that persistent awareness. I'm doing it right now in business. I can go someplace, I can go into a room. That's how, kind of I met these guys. We're putting together a program now, because one of the things that's happened probably the last 3 months, I would say, a lot of people, I'm in a lot of groups. I love to do masterminds and sit around with people that are way smarter than me, that are in these different fields. It just, this is kind of something that just feeds me. And so I have a lot of people in the technical field because we do software, right? And I've been around this world forever. And a lot of them are losing their positions, their jobs. And I'm going to tell you, these guys are, I'm not going to say everybody's arrogant, but everybody's got a sense of themselves. These guys are smart people, and the ladies too. They're all very smart people, and they're all very capable. But I have never heard them whine before, right? This is kind of throwing me off a little bit. And so we're going to get together, those technical people, and then these people that I'm telling you about that are for the situation awareness, and these other people that I know, they've always been getting their money from organizations, institutions, nonprofits, things like that. That money's drying up now for them. And so we're going to put something together this October. So one of the reasons I'm doing this video today is I want you guys, this is one of the few times I'm saying this, I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe for us. We're going to go on a different journey that I thought I was going to be going on. I'm going to talk a lot about the athletic scholarships. We're coming up to spring, summer's coming, all that kind of stuff is happening too. But we're going to take a different journey. Next week is going to be the first week I'm going to talk about something I'm going to be doing in October. I'm hoping you guys will come out for that. It's not going to be my event, but we're going to be at an event, and we're going to introduce this thing for the first time. And I'm going to tell you what that is next week. I don't want to get too far into it today. I don't want to make this video too long. This video is more about that curiosity, that persistent awareness, like I keep calling it. I'm just making that is words up, and how I got there. I'm going to talk about that all next week. But I want you guys to join on this journey now. We're going to make you guys, set you guys apart from everyone else that's doing all the right things, doing, they took the right classes, all of that good stuff, their SAT, ACT scores. They didn't just throw it off because some of the colleges aren't requiring it anymore. They're not doing all of that stuff. That's stuff we've been talking about. Everybody's catching on to that part of it. And I keep on telling them they're stealing from me now at this point. But everybody's catching on. You want to be the best you can be. And we've talked about those 10-year increments and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's all going good. But how do you get chosen? How do you become the person that gets chosen? It's nuanced. And I think that awareness thing, that piece is going to make a big difference. Coaches can see it. So next week we're going to talk about, what I'm going to try to throw into a bucket here is, what makes a kid special? What, how we watch sports and we say that kid has it. What is it? Can it? And so here's our theory. Can it be taught? And I say it can be. And I'm going to show you guys what I think could be done about it, and how we're going to go about trying to pull it into what we're doing with AthleticSOS. And I want you guys to go along for this journey, because I want to see if I'm right. We're going to change this thing around. We're doing it already with this athletic scholarship stuff, in the sense that you guys are finding the schools first. You're making sure the schools match what you want to do in your future. You're reaching out to those schools. You're telling them where you're going to be, that you're interested in their program, where you're going to be, so they can come and see if you match up with who they are. That's completely opposite of the way it's always been. So we've already started down that road, and we're going to continue there. And I know that road is right, because we've had kids come back and say, wow, I'm right at the place I wanted to be, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. And so I know that part is correct. And I did it with my daughter. So I know that if you get to the place that fits who you are and what you're all about, you're going to be fine anyway. So anyway, we're going to move forward. Please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you come and watch next week. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to kind of introduce you to this concept and where we're going with it, and where we're going to be later on in the year. I hope you guys can come out and visit with us and see if it works for you. And then I'm going to try to incorporate it into everything I'm doing. I'm creating a new website. We're updating the AthleticSOS site. A lot of stuff's going on. I'm very excited. If you are a travel club program and you guys want to use our software, absolutely no cost to your travel club program. I will ask that you guys have a website, something I can go and look at and see where you're going with it. And then if you guys want to work with, if anybody wants to use the software, obviously down in the description below, there is the code and there's instructions for how to use it. You guys can use it as individuals, no cost to anybody. That's fine. What I'm looking for though, if you guys are going to work with us, and you just want to help your kids, just take the code, give it to each of your kids. If you're working with us, if you want to work with us as a club or travel or club program, I want you guys to want the kids to succeed more than your program to succeed. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And so if you're in that world, if that's what you're all about, then you're more than welcome to use it. And we're going to fix the software so that you can watch your kids and you can help them and bring them in and make those initial phone calls for them to the college coach. Let them know where the kid's going to be. Have a profile for these kids all set up to give to those coaches, and really reach out and work on behalf of those coaches. I know some of the really big club programs, some of those the lower level kids, they're paying a bunch of money to come there. Maybe we can get them NAIA, maybe we can get them D3, maybe we can get them somewhere. And there's a piece of the software we have that we understand all the kids that play in your program are not going to play at the next level. We've got something for them too. We call it the academic only. And I make that available to the travel club programs, as long as you guys are making that effort. And so that's how we do that. We always give that to the schools. Any high school coaches, absolutely reach for us, because you guys have on campus the entire staff. You got the counselors, you got the coaches that are trying to help out. And so you guys are geared around trying to help every single kid. I want the high school athletic program to send more kids to college than any other program on the campus. I want them to have an advantage. I want AthleticSOS to be that advantage. And so those are some of the things that we're trying to do. I just want it to be a default for the kids. This is your starting point. You are going to practice every day. You're doing all the hard work. Some of you don't even get a chance to play, right? And you just practice, but you're part of the unit. You're part of the team. You sacrifice. You kept your grades up so you can even play. All of this stuff you've done, let's give you an advantage over everybody else that's on the campus. And I don't mean I don't want those other people to do well. I do, but I just want to give you something special just for doing what you guys are doing. And so that's what we're all about. And then for those of you that don't have any codes there, it's available to you. We're going to do some cool stuff with those codes moving forward. And I've got some other stuff coming in because everyone always asks me the number one question: how in the heck are you doing this? You're giving the software away for no cost. There must be something you're doing. I don't sell your data and your information. So we're going to start building our own website. We're going to get our own store. A lot of stuff's going on. Like I said, I'm aware, man. I am persistently aware, and things are starting coming to me because of that. And I sincerely want to help as many people as I can to get their future going. I don't think these kids are going to have the same opportunity that I had growing up to go work for somebody, do it for 30 years, get a pension, and then it allows me to come back and do this. So I think they're going to have a much more exciting, wonderful life, but it's going to be a little bit different. And I want to make sure they get there and they have all the success in the world, because the more success they have is the more they can do for other people. And that's where we're going. They're going to have an excellent life, and we're going to make sure everybody else has a really good life if they don't want to do all this stuff or they're not in position to do it. And I think the fact that you play athletics gives you an advantage, not a disadvantage. So you're going to take advantage of that talent that you have, and we're going to make everybody else's life just as good. Okay? All right, guys. Back on my soapbox here, so I'm going to come off of it now. You guys have a good day, and then go ahead and subscribe to the channel now, because we're going to grow and we're going to go in a different direction. I want you guys to go on this journey with me, and we're going to see where we end up. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.